that
Before
and after. Okay, we've got our brow lamination. This is a kit. It doesn't have some of the things that the lash lift does. But should you own the lash lift, you can do brows because this is all the same.
It's the same, right?
It's the same ingredients. Okay, so again, how much to charge? We probably don't have to go through that again, but just so you know. Also, if you do lash extensions and you do brows on top of it, I don't charge them as much as I would for somebody just coming in for brows, because I'm doing 2 procedures. Who looks good with brow laminations? People that really struggle and have bald spots in their eyebrows. Those people who love the fluffy look, I like it for this. I have brows that I don't like to pay attention to every day.
Do you trim after or?
What's
like,
that?
When you laminate, do you trim after?
Yes.
Okay.
Always trim, always wax, always pluck after. Okay? Now, if you prefer that natural minimalistic makeup look, if you get your brows done, especially if you do something with your eyelashes. My eyelash girls get their brows done. They run around and they don't put makeup on unless they're really doing something special. Because that really is what people focus on, is that eye area. Who shouldn't get brow laminations? People with certain skin conditions such as eczema or psoriasis around the brows might want to avoid this treatment. Additionally, if you have extremely sparse eyebrows or are currently experiencing hair loss in the brow area, brow lamination might not give you the desired results. However, people that don't have hardly any brows at all, it's amazing when you put them in a configuration that's consistent, how they show up. I have a client who's older, who's got balding spots on her head. She wanted her brows done. I was like, after I did them, she looked like she had the most beautiful brows, and she had very few brows. But once you put brows in a shape and you trim them, they look like they have 2 to 3 times the amount of hairs than they had when they were just wobbly long. It was amazing. I'll have to get a picture of that on my next reel. Okay, so she has fading, hardly any at all. Big spaces where she doesn't have. And first we're gonna cleanse. Now we're going to do the lifting lotion. Remember, the lifting lotion is going to go in and break the keratin down so that we can manipulate it into the shape we want it and fix it into that shape. I put a couple pumps of that out. Eyelashes takes 1 pump of the product, brows take 2. They need a lot more product. But notice she doesn't really have her own lashes right out here, very little.
Yes.
There again, I like to keep the heat in because this is the time that we need it. Now, the glue ball is in your kit. You don't need it for this one necessarily because it's not necessary to make it in the shape that we want to fix them in. So you don't have to use it there. Again, this is our talks about the lifting motion, how it breaks like a ladder, it breaks those rungs, so we can move this pole and this pole around and reshape it. Okay, we are testing them. See how I can move those around and they stay right where I put them? So those were ready. They stayed. They didn't kind of come back up like They stayed in the shape that I put them.
So I just want to confirm, when you're saying you're testing, it means that the acquired minimum time that you're putting for X client, has already passed, and now you're gonna just wiggle around a couple of hairs to see
Yes,
how
so
flimsy
I
they
have-
are for the fix.
yeah, so I like to check if their hair is good and strong. I like to go 5 to 6 minutes, lift up the surround and test it. Now, if like how I moved hers, I tried to lift it and it just stayed exactly where I put it. It has succumbed. It doesn't have its own will. I broke all the rungs. Take it off because it does not need to process any longer. Now, should I have moved those around and one pop up and try to go back to its normal shape? You know, I have a few grays in mine, and you'll see mine will go. You'll try to have them push down and be up against my skin, and it'll go ping. I'm like, okay, process out. The process a little bit longer. Okay, so that's what that means. It should, no matter what you do to it, it's like you beat it enough that it's not going to get up and walk away anymore. It's like, okay.
Add an additional 1 to 3 minutes max and see and test again.
Well, okay, if it pops right up, I'm going to probably go 3 more minutes.
Okay.
If it's just kind of like I'm going to do 1 minute or 1.5 minutes. Does that make sense?
You do not put more products? Yes.
If I've taken too much product off that doesn't have any on it, I might put a couple drops more on it. Yeah.
What happens if you leave it on too long?
It'll dry out their brows, and it could damage the hair. However, it grows back. It's not damaging the root. But I'll tell you what happens on me. I don't over process, but sometimes it feels like I do because I have really, really, really strong brows, and mine grow out, and they grow like this. They don't come right out smooth. They come out kind of curled, just a slight bit. So when I've permed them flat, when they start growing out, they feel like they've been damaged because I have this ridge because they're growing out in their curvature, but everything else is straight. So if a case like that happens, you don't want to think that that's a damaged feel. It's just a grow out feel. Does that make sense? Because it feels kind of rough right at the base of them, and I'm like, oh, they're growing out. But if I didn't know better, I think, did I damage my hairs? Because it's kind of rough right there at the base. But when I do mine, I go straight up, and which this needs to be redone. But I go straight up, and so when mine grow out, it's crazy. And then I have gray hairs that grow out before anything else grows out. And I thought, oh my gosh, that gray hair lost all the hair color. And when I went in and pulled it up, still had color on the end, but it had grown out a good, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch before the rest of them did, and it was gray at the bottom and had all the color at the end. So the color lasts really long, even on grays, but grays grow fast, and they're beastly. They're the last ones to succumb to the serums. Okay. So here I am. I'm probably on hers. I'm going to put this on to pull them in a good spot. You don't always have to do this. I kind of like to do this on the second part in case when I touch them with this around, I don't move them. But you don't have to use the Blue Balm. It's in the kit on the second part, but I tend to want to. Okay, so see, her lashes are very much affected by the serums. With the color, they were kind of light orange. Now they're kind of even more orangey. So we will color her brows. So now we're going to fix it. So I did put the glue bomb on it so I can go kind of fast. Because I've already fixed them. I'll go back and check them after I get done. I really love using the Saran on the brows because I can push it down. The brows are really hardcore hairs. Okay, so we're gonna leave that for 5 to 6 minutes, and we're gonna test it. I think we already did test that it was done. But if I now this is my typical. If I left it on 9 minutes for the lifting motion, I'm gonna leave it on 9 to 10 minutes on the pixie. So this is how I take those off. Okay, we are going to. This is our tinting, our developer. I'm going to do light brown and dark brown. I'm going to mix them. See how those squirt out? Very.
How much are your tints?
Our tint kits are $35 at the show. They'll probably last you all year, if not longer. They're all in airtight containers.
So you get all three and the developer for $35?
Mm-hmm. You do. At the show. So see how I painted on? You even get the little paintbrush. Only 35.
Is this gonna color the skin or just the hair?
So with our tint, if you leave it on long enough, you're going to get some tint onto the skin. It will wear off in a week or two. Okay, it's not a henna.
Yeah, can you mix it with henna?
I would assume so. I don't think that I've never done it. But if you want it to tint the skin, leave it on longer. Does that make sense? If you don't, I don't want it to tint my skin, so I just lightly put it on my brows and try not to push it into my skin. Because I like to have a darker brown but see the skin behind it. Does that make sense? I don't want it to make me look too dark.
Yeah, but a lot of people want to fill in the holes and stuff.
Yeah. So leave it on longer. And if they just want to fill in those holes, you could even take it off and put a little bit more in the holes and then leave it on. With it just there. Okay, so we're going to remove that. With that paintbrush, you don't it's so easy to manage where you're putting it, the color.
Do you sell brushes too?
That brush comes with your tint. And the brush comes with your lash lift and with your brow lamination.
The
They all
double
have a
one
brush.
that you talked about?
What's
the
that?
double-ended one?
The double-ended one comes with the laminations.
Okay.
Just the black one with just the one end comes with the color.
And not water to clean it.
Is that?
Not water.
I don't clean them with water. I put the oil on it. I wipe it and then I put the oil on and kind of give it a wipe and then apply a little bit more oil.
And the nourishing oil comes in too with the kit?
What's that?
Does the nourishing oil come
Yes.
with the kit?
Mm-hmm. That nourishing oil really scalps everything and helps it all heal. So I didn't groom for this, presentation, but think of it